Invincible is back, and this is what we all been waiting for. So last time we left off, Mark had accidentally offed the scientist. Omni-Man was arrested, and the Guardians got cooked by the Lizard League, but Rex caught the dub. So you open the episode to Mark lifting something, and it looks heavy, and then the screen pans out, and it's some monster's foot. So Mark drops him and starts talking shit. You can do better than that, Cyclops. He like, oh, it's on. So Mark rushes in and punches bro, which knocks him down again, and then he flies around for a bit, and then hits him again. But this time, Cyclops grabs him and spikes his ass. So he picks up the peak of this mountain and drops it on him. Oh shit, am I him? I'm him. Then Mark breaks out with this zesty ass stance. So you know he about to cook something. Round 2, Tubby. So he rushes in and hits him with this mean ass Shoryuken and launches him into the air. And bro drops down and Mark helps him up. And he says, "You're mean." Okay. Huh? So then Cecil pops out. Let's give little man a break. He's only 8. Yeah, ain't no way.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
Then Dexter talking to his parents in the back, and bro like, we appreciate your help. And I guess bro is a mutant. Mark like, what's next? And they start the training montage. So they have Mark doing all kinds of crazy crap, like flying to the moon and then back to Earth. They had him lifting some iceberg, which was the heaviest thing they could find. And he did it easy. And they even made this man swim through lava. Yeah, he must be training to fight Goku or me.
Shut your stupid.
Which makes more sense. So now he's back in the facility pressing some machine that probably gives you a crazy chest pump. And Cecil and bro talking about his player build. Speed increase, 65%. His endurance, 70%. Strength, 138%. So you got the over or the under on him beating that Viltrumite baddie with the pixie cut. And by the way, since we on that topic, all I'm gonna say is, definitely would. I'm not gonna lie, I might take the under, boss. Shit, I got the under too. That's why you need to get stronger. So Rex walks in and he's like, nah, Mark, when you started juicing? Oh, you been skipping leg day though. I can tell. What it is, Rex? Yeah, I got these supplements off the TikTok shop. Oh, bet. Send me that link. So then Rex starts bringing up how Mark gets all this stuff, but they coffee maker still broke. And then Cecil tells him it's because Mark can actually get the job done sometimes. He ain't say that, but let's be for real. What else would he be thinking? Man, you lucky my finger don't work. Yeah. Then they get an alert that somebody's stealing the Declaration of Independence. Hey Mark, you gonna handle that for me? I'm right here too, I can help at least. Oh yeah, Mark, babysit him too. So we go to see who's stealing the Constitution, and it's these twins. So they dodging the cops and yapping about something at the same time. But while they running down the stairs, apparently the cops can't land a hit on 2 regular people. Can't believe this is what our tax dollars be going to. Like, unfair, I can understand real villains, but we can't even depend on y'all for regular humans. Trash. But anyway, Mark and Rex pull up, and I guess it gets to fading while talking about Eve. Then Rex telling Mark he need to lock in. But while he doing that, he ended up taking out one. So Mark is fighting the other one, clearly not having the issue. He just taking his punches while talking. And then Paul ends up pulling up. So that's Kate's brother, and he blaming Rex for her death. So he started jumping him, and he doing him bad. I'm talking about straight curb stomping him.
Yo Rex, get up.
So what is he supposed to do when he's facing an infinite shadow clone jutsu? So then they hear, and it's Kate and Immortal, and we get an explanation, and basically Kate and Immortal wanted a break. When you're a superhero, you don't get a break. Charlie worse than Anthony Richardson.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there.
So Rex gives them both the middle finger, and he tells Paul, you almost off me for nothing. And Paul's like, wouldn't be the first time it happened. And that was kind of cold, I'm not gonna lie. Then Kate's like, Paul, just go before it gets worse. But I guess Paul took that as disrespect, and so he tries to sneak Rex. But Invincible in the cut like peroxide and one-shots him. Now look at Kate, she trying to convince Mark, don't take him to jail. Yeah, go ahead and zip that lip. He definitely going to jail. So Mark gets home and he's playing with Oliver, and Oliver starts to ask him about his mission. So he tells him about the usual mission, you know, bad guys escaping and Mark not doing nothing because he sucks. And then Oliver's like, so are you gonna train me when I have my powers? And he's like, yeah, I got you, little bro. You promise? Yeah, I promise. Don't rush it though. You probably not gonna get him till. And then Oliver just flies up. Isn't little bro like 2 years old? It's only been like a couple months. How did he get this big this fast? But that's besides the point. He got powers now, and Mark made a promise. So Mark pulls up on Eve, and I guess they ain't speaking in a minute, so it's crazy tension. So they chopping it up, and he basically tells her that he wants to take her on a date, and his wrist is low-key working. But while that's going on, Rex is walking through the hall after taking a shower and sees some big hole in the ground. So then these eyes pop out, and it looks like he just got eaten by the worm in SpongeBob. So now the office going crazy. They trying to figure out what's going on, and they say all the Guardians can't be contacted, and Dr. Seismic, this one irrelevant villain, broke out of the jail. So we pan back to Mark getting Rizzy, and he messes it up when he brought up how future Eve is like obsessed with current Mark. And that just made Eve feel kind of weirded out, and rightfully so. Like, why would you want to tell her that? So Mark gets saved by the bell because Cecil calls him, and he's telling him he needs help. Eve and Mark are the only 2 superheroes on the planet right now. So Eve decides to help, but she's still pissed. Look at what she said.
This
better be fucking cataclysmic.
And look at Mark's face. Yeah, this is the face of somebody with no riz. Then we pan back out and little bro trying to sneak out with his costume he thrifted. Yeah, Oliver Gold will be having it, but this is not it, brody. But before he can get anywhere, Marduce catches him, and I think I know what's about to happen as the season develops, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. So we finally see where all the heroes went, and it looks like they got packed up, literally. So Dr. Seisman doing his speech, and nobody really cares until he does this move. And it looks like the room is about to cave in until Eve and Mark pop out, and we finally got some people that can do something. Well, 1.5. So now they start pressing Doc, giving him backhanded compliments.
Huh?
Dang, Doc, you really upped your game. I never expected you to do something like this. So then Doc gets mad and decides to clap his hands. They say, that's all you got? But he like, nah, I was just calling the game. And then these giant bugs and lava creatures pop out. So Mark and Eve start fading, and Mark putting in some work for once, but it looks like Eve's getting walked down. And then he like, y'all ain't got nothing on my creatures. So Mark notices and he tries to help Eve, but he's not able to get there in time. So Doc catches her and then he claps her face, pause, which ends up knocking her out. So then Mark the Simp tries to help out and gets stabbed by some bug. So the bug ends up on top of him, but Mark ends up breaking the tooth. The problem is the tooth is poisonous, so he can't do nothing. And then the scientist walks up and knocks him out too. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know why I watched this show. I know I didn't just see Mark get packed up by somebody he already beat before. Isn't this the 100% stronger Mark we was talking about? So Sleeping Beauty wakes up from his nap and he tries to get Eve to help.
Wake up, bitch!
And Doc is cracking the ceiling above as he plans to crush them underneath the earth. So then Cecil starts doing a countdown. And then at the last second, Black Batman pulls up. So he saves them along with these robots who putting in crazy work. So they start releasing the heroes and Doc runs from Batman. And then Doc decides to call out more troops. So now it's all the heroes versus the underground, and Mark rushes the robot. He mad because he notices something a little off about these robots. But anyway, while he being useless, these robots putting in work. The superheroes are starting to get the upper hand finally.
It's about damn time.
And Doc plans to do a suicide move to kill everyone, but Batman comes out of nowhere and pulls him into the Shadow Realm. So then Mark rushes Batman because he's a former criminal who murdered people in the past, and now he's helping him out. So he tries to tell Mark he changed, and Mark don't want to hear that. So then Immortal starts talking, and I swear I almost hit my laptop. He's talking about they saved him, so he should be happy. So Mark like, shut up, old man, and he decides to pull up on Cecil. But before he does that, hey Eve, we gonna talk later, baby. Be safe. So Mark pulls up, and he asking Cecil what he got going on. And Cecil tries to explain that you and the Guardians only get the job done 50% of the time. We need all the help we can get. So Mark don't care though, because he don't want to work with murderers. And I'm not gonna lie, I get Mark's side, but at the same time, it be a lot going on in this verse. You might do need all the help you can get. So then Cecil walks in his room and he's like, Mark, how about you take yourself home? And then Mark's like, I'm not leaving, and what you gonna do if I don't? Oh, trust me, my boy, it's gonna get real wicked. And then he spawns these robots. And that's the end of the episode. It's great to have Invincible back. Mark finally gonna do something this season, I hope. But regardless, W show, W first episode back. And for more Invincible, like, comment, and subscribe and all that. I'm out.